The China Report for Saturday, May 18, 2013. USA brands sold in China. By 2030, roughly two-thirds of the world's middle class will be in the Asia-Pacific region, largely in China, according to a report by Ernst & Young. Currently at around 150 million people, the Chinese middle class is expected to reach 1 billion, representing a $250 billion market for American companies today. According to estimates of the U.S. China Business Council, iconic and newly forged brands alike are looking at enormous opportunity. Some of the nation's biggest brands are already Chinese market leaders in their particular segments. Apple sells more tablets than any competitor in China and Gillette more razors than any other brand. While some of these companies are facing increased competition internationally and from China-based firms, others appear to be pulling away from the pack. Because China is not an open market, international companies cannot compete in some sectors. According to the U.S. China Business Council, the Chinese government currently imposes restrictions on about 100 different sectors in both manufacturing and service industries. 55 dead, 14 missing in rainstorms. 55 people have died and 14 others were reported missing in the latest round of rain and hailstorms that have swept South China, according to official statistics collected as of 8 p.m. Friday. Hardest-hit Guangdong province reported 36 deaths and 10 missing persons, according to the National Committee for Disaster Reduction. China, which has recently recovered from a strong earthquake in Sichuan province, is now dealing with seasonal rains that are producing record amounts. Rainfall should slow by the beginning of June when summer heat kicks in. China arrests man over fake plane bomb threats. A man has been arrested for allegedly making fake bomb threats against several domestic flights bound for Shanghai, Chinese officials said Saturday. It was the second time in a week that Chinese flights were grounded because of fake bomb threats. Another man was arrested Thursday for allegedly making such calls the previous day. The Civil Aviation Administration of China, or CAAC, said a 43-year-old man named Jian from the eastern city of Yanqing was arrested on suspicion of making prank calls Friday afternoon and spreading fake terror information relating to several Shanghai-bound flights departing from the cities of Beijing, Guangzhou, Chongqing and Shenzhen. It did not say what might have motivated the man to act. The official Xinhua news agency said a bomb threat delayed all outbound flights at the Chongqing airport and forced inbound flights to return Friday evening. Threats like this are something new in China. Could social unrest mimic the United States social unrest and homegrown terror? Rising wages pose dilemma for China. China is showing rapid increases in wages and signs of resilience in hiring despite slowing growth, a reassuring sign for leaders seeking to put more money in the pockets of ordinary Chinese, but a trend that could prove difficult to sustain as countries nearby threaten to encroach on China's manufacturing dominance. Chinese private sector wages rose 14% in 2012, data showed Friday. Good news overall for Beijing's push to make consumer spending a more important part of growth. But higher labor costs also hurt business profitability and export competitiveness, which could pose its own risks to the economic recovery. Countries such as Bangladesh, Cambodia and Vietnam have all ramped up their garment sectors as global retailers look for alternatives to China. If the 14% wage increases in China continues, exports will be affected. Will China be able to continue to be the world's factory? That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.